Can you hear me? Can you have a testing? Okay, not can hear.
Can you hear me?
Yep. All right. Hello, everybody. We'll just get settled here. Welcome to the latest Lilypad AMA. Good to see everyone. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, depending on where you are today. How are you doing today, Logan? Welcome back to the AMA. It's good to be back.
I'm doing great. Thanks for asking. How are you doing? Thank you for hosting this AMA yet again.
Oh yeah. No, I mean I was missing it. Over the holidays. I know we had an AMA last week with the team, but I was missing. Missing getting our sessions in. Talking about Lilypad, talking about the market. It's a lot of fun.
I feel like it's a lot more exciting now. Comparison is not a good thing, but I feel like it's very exciting recently with everything going on in Lilypad. So it makes sense to be excited about the AMAs.
Oh yeah. All right, well, let's get into it. So today, what we're going to do, we're going to talk a little bit about Lilypad, what's going on in the network, and where we are with a bunch of different initiatives. And then we're going to jump right into the big push at Lilypad is for building modules. We have this compute network, and we need compute jobs running on the network, and we want them growing. And so we've created a lot of incentives, and we've created a whole program here to sort of support builders. And so we're really excited to get that going. And so we're going to kind of talk about that today and a lot of stuff that's kind of going to be kicking off over this week and into next week. So anyway, with that, we shall waste no more time. Welcome, everyone. As probably a lot of you are familiar with the Lilypad vision, but just really quickly to kind of go over it. Lilypad's building an accessible, efficient, permissionless open compute network. The long-term vision is to build a global permissionless compute network of GPUs that matches idle compute capacity with compute demand. You can really easily scale out large amounts of parallel processing for AI agents, other types of LLM-based processes, and use the Lilypad compute network made up of the people's GPUs to run that compute. And so anyway, we're very proud to unleash idle processing power and really unlock an efficient compute marketplace, as well as a module marketplace, which is basically sort of like the community of jobs that can be run on the Lilypad network. Really briefly talking about the stack here. We've matched compute clients with compute providers via our off-chain market matching engine. So the Lilypad solver, basically you can think of it as a market matching engine that basically does off-chain processing. Well, basically connects the processors with the compute clients, and then the smart contracts are used to validate that the transaction has been completed and that the deal can be confirmed on chain that has been completed. Of course, with our testnet and with our mainnet launch, we'll be using, an ERC20. Currently, we're on Arbitrum Sepolia, so it's Arbitrum Sepolia ETH, and the mediator sort of helps to validate that jobs are being completed and that that the node that's running the job can be trusted to actually that the job was completed. And mediation really is a major piece here that our research team has put out a paper on, and our engineering team has been hard at work figuring out the right way to implement mediation at scale. Logan, I'm sure like you've seen kind of a lot of these different like thought processes around that, but it's a very complicated thing, and honestly, it's an AI problem generally, right? It's a question that the industry faces, and so like we're really proud to be at the front lines of that and implementing that in our system. Starting simple and then getting more complex over time.
Absolutely. Very excited to see the work being done on mediation. We have an incredible engineer working on it, and I'm just so excited.
Yeah. I mean, we believe deeply in decentralizing the sort of AI stack, and a big piece of that is like understanding if the compute job that you're trying to run can be sort of relied on, right? Like you need to be able to know that this agent that you're using to do whatever, right, to like advise you on financial information or to do medical research or to whatever it is, like you need to be confident that thing not only is completing the compute job, but you also need to be to confirm that the compute job that ran is actually yielding an output that you would expect. And given that Lilypad has supports non-deterministic workloads, this is a rather complex situation. And so anyway, yeah, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, like, it's you can't base these parameters. Mediation is an endeavor, and you can't base the parameters for a successful mediation based on like simple parameters like, oh, did is there an output to the Docker container? Well, like Lilypad and the containers are like, it's a very black box. We can really be quite interoperable for anything. So getting an output may not be what somebody wants in general. And so it's really cool what we're doing for mediation, and more or less just watching what the card does, being able to understand what that model does over time. Makes a lot of sense, you know.
Yeah, absolutely. No, and again, like we're really excited to sort of help the AI world sort of push this kind of work. There's a lot of brilliant teams working on this, and so we're like really proud to join that group and implement solutions that are in a decentralized setting, which is even more complex relative to if you're looking at like a centralized compute provider running AI jobs. But anyway. Yeah, so as you can see, a lot of research is going on at the team, in addition to building out the actual mainnet system, supporting the testnet system, and of course the white paper and the tokenomics. So I know the community is eagerly awaiting, the release of our tokenomics information, and we like really appreciate the patience that the community has had. That information has really been going back and forth with our team and our advisors. We're working with the Crypto Econ Lab, which is an incredible group out of Protocol Labs, who's helping us bring a lot of their years of experience building protocols to what we're doing. And so anyway, it's a very complex system to basically use this market matching engine to match compute jobs and compute clients and have the tokenomics that incentivizes the right things while also protecting the users of all stakeholders, really, right? RPs, compute providers, or clients. So anyway, that's coming very soon, but we greatly appreciate the community's patience on that. All right, so I just wanted to mention that, but now jumping into kind of what's going on with IncentiveNet. So join the IncentiveNet beta for RPs. IncentiveNet is growing into sort of its next phase, its next stage, where we are doing a couple things. So we're implementing a job-based rewards mechanism. This is really, really important, as this will be the mechanism that is similar to how RPs will earn revenue on mainnet. So on mainnet, RPs earn revenue by running jobs. And so, our past reward system has not emulated that, which is a huge problem, right? We need to be able to test our systems. We need RPs to know what's going on, how the system works, what to expect. And generally, this all needs to be able to scale. And so over the last, probably 2 weeks, we've been taking a step back, re-architecting how the reward system works on IncentiveNet. And we have a form at the bottom here. Please fill it out. It's open to all RPs to fill out the form. And we will be basically relaunching the IncentiveNet for RPs with a rewards program with a small group of RPs that have demonstrated the sort of commitment to making sure that the RP is online and able to run jobs 24/7. So this means that your configuration has been set properly. This means that you're keeping track of like the tokens. You're keeping track of any errors in the logs. You're typically we're seeing that you have to kind of like restart your node pretty often. And so anyway, our team is addressing some of these issues. But in the meanwhile, as we're pushing updates and changes, we need the RP community that we're working with to be highly consistent. And that's for a lot of reasons. Of course, like it's obvious, right? We want a consistent network, but also like the whole point of this network is to run compute workloads, right? To run compute jobs. And so the really big push for this next phase or stage of IncentiveNet is to have incentivizing mechanisms for people to run jobs. And so in order to do that, we need a very consistent network. And so that's why we're starting out with this small group. We'll then be scaling it out. We'll be going from there. We've announced a lot of this or all of this in our Discord and the updates RP channel. So please check that out if you want to know like the details around the thinking here and sort of what the plan is. But this next stage of IncentiveNet will support both in terms of incentives. We'll incentivize both RPs and Lilypad users. So that's something that we're extremely pumped about. Check out all the resources on the right-hand side here of the screen to check out and learn, what's going on. We have actually a brand new website. And so I have an old screenshot here. I should have replaced that. The website's awesome. There's a lot of information about IncentiveNet. We'll be releasing more information about sort of the next stage of IncentiveNet, including rewards for people building on the system, on the network. But yeah, jump into our Discord. All the links are here, and really we get involved. That's really our big call to action. But we're very, very excited for this next stage, and we'll be releasing a lot more information over the next week as to what this whole next stage looks like. But essentially, what Logan and I want to go through today is building on Lilypad, running workloads on this decentralized GPU network. So awesome, so important. So one of the big pushes for the next stage will be, and actually we've already released this. You can see in the top right here, the Lilypad module creator rewards beta. We released that before Christmas, and it's really just our first sort of foray, our first step into incentivizing people to build modules. And essentially, you can check out that blog. The link's down at the bottom on the left there. But essentially, the community can earn Lilybits for building and running modules on the network. What is a module, you might ask? Well, a Lilypad module is a Docker image configured to run on the Lilypad network. And typically, that Docker image will have an LLM or some program that you're trying to run in serverless style execution that you can scale up for large-scale parallel processing. So that's really like one of the big value propositions of the network is, you can build an agent workflow that has the need for large-scale parallel processing, whether it's one LLM or a series of LLMs. And you can farm that out to Lilypad, use the Lilypad network for that scalability, that load balancing, and boom, your application can run for much lower cost and all the value propositions of decentralized compute. So on the right hand side is an example of a module. Logan here actually made this one, Llama 2. Well, he didn't make Llama 2, but he made the Docker image configuration that is used to run Llama 2 on Lilypad. And so anyway, you can check out the link there in the docs. But yeah, Logan, let's jump into it. So it's all about running jobs, all about building modules. What's so cool about modules is once the module is created on Lilypad, you then can, anyone can call that module with our CLI. And so anyway, Logan and I wanted today to jump into just kind of doing some demos of running the CLI. How does that work? And then, talking about modules, like what does this look like? And like, what is the incentive to make a module? Well, it's right now on testnet is you can earn Lilybits. Come mainnet, there's a lot more of an incentive. And so that's very exciting. If you can pick up a popular LLM, create a Lilypad module, there's a huge opportunity there because the community will see that, pick it up, start building with it, and anyway, Logan, sorry, take it away.
Yeah, I'll take it away. Thank you, Alex. Very exciting period of time for Lilypad to be able to finally get into working with modules and working with the community to run modules. And so as someone who's been building modules for about, a little over a year now, let's go through a bunch of, let's just have a very free-flowing investigation on Lilypad modules, what they are, how they work, and yeah, let's just jump right into it. So I feel like the best place to get started is to jump into our docs. If you want to run Lilypad jobs, like you're not like, you may just want to run some inference. You may not want to go all the way to building your own module. You just want to try some modules that we have created and the community has created on Lilypad. To do that, you're going to need to install the CLI. So Lilypad has a bunch of different tools, some to host a resource provider, some to run a CLI to run jobs. And so to install that, go to our installation guide within our docs here. We will just lay out exactly what you got to do to install it. It's pretty simple. If it's not simple for you, please leave a message and we will take a look, figure out what we can do to make it easier. Can we install on a virtual private server? Yes, I believe you could. Yeah, absolutely. Good question. You could totally put the CLI on a VPS and have that run jobs. Totally, absolutely. maybe there's a demo coming on that soon as well, if that's helpful. But install the CLI, great. Okay, so here I'm running a version of, this is Linux right here, Ubuntu. Pretty
Sorry, Logan,
simple.
can you make it a little bigger if possible? It's kind of hard to read. If not,
sure.
It's fine.
Sure, yeah. Just typical Linux stuff.
Yeah, no worries.
Like I resize the font and then it changes from one monitor to the other. I mean, pretty hilarious. Okay, sorry about that, everyone. So here we've got my CLI, or we can tell that my CLI is installed. Sorry, if we just run Lilypad, make sure everything is where it's supposed to be. So I'm running version 2.10.0. Great. I don't know if that's our most recent one. It might be.
It is, yeah.
Great. Thank you, Alex. It's been a long week, everyone. And it's only Tuesday. Or it's Wednesday. Here is a sample command. You can find these Lilypad job commands within our docs here. So we have a bunch of Lilypad modules. We have a Calsay, or a Hello World module. And so you can find all of these run commands within our docs. A lot of times they are within the actual modules repo on GitHub. And so as we can see, I have a bunch of really cool instructions here to tell you what exactly you need to do to run it.
Hey, actually, Logan, this is a good place to sort of bring it up. Like when people do create their own module, right? So you find an LLM you want to run on Lilypad, right? Because you want to build some kind of agent, you want to build some kind of like workflow, or you just think like people will love it. Having really good docs like this is like essential so that the community can like really easily pick it up, right? So,
Absolutely.
What kind of dependencies are there? How do you build the container? And then like, the CLI commands, like we are creating a process so in the announcement, and we can talk about this in a second, but like in the announcement for, hey, earn Lilybit rewards for building modules, we ask that you basically submit the module in a pull request to the Lilypad awesome Lilypad repo, and I'll put the link down here. But basically, this is the awesome Lilypad repo. And so basically, what we do is we say, hey, open a PR, add this add this to the list in the awesome Lilypad repo, and give us as much information as you can about, has this thing kind of been tested? Yeah, exactly. Thanks, Logan. Yeah, so you can add it to the list under modules, and that way the community can pick it up and just go use it. We are getting into some sort of different angles on how we are going to go approach testing and how we're going to approach some of the standards for modules. But long story short, like TLDR, basically, like do your best to run it locally, then do your best to build the module and try and test it on Lilypad, and then do a PR onto this repo here. And that way, our team can be confident, okay, this thing like can run on the network. And then on top of that, there's a little bit of instruction so our team can pick it up and or the community can pick it up and use it. Sorry, look, didn't mean to like sidetrack there.
No, absolutely. Super good notes. If building inference models and getting them to run locally is easy for you, then certainly starting from the beginning may not be the best idea for you. But in general, if you're starting this out from the start, you're not too experienced with this, I would recommend starting with a local model first. It was just better for me to do that when I first started doing this, a while ago, a year or two ago. So, getting it to run locally, understanding what's happening within your Docker image, learning how to bake the model within the Docker image is very important as well, especially when running on Lilypad. All Lilypad modules, they run offline. So you need to have the model baked into it. So that way the Lilypad node doesn't have to do the downloading outside of the Docker container. All it has to do is download the Docker container. Hope that makes sense. But moving on, let's run some jobs real quick. So we are using the DemoNet network, and I'm going to run a simple Lilysay here. Hello, Lilypad AMA.
So So the demo net is something we use internally for testing. If you would like, access to using it, like just DM us on Twitter, on LinkedIn, DM us on Discord, and we can discuss, how to get you using it. But anyway, just wanted to put a caveat there. You may have noticed the command is different than in the docs.
Yep. There is a demo net, a specific demo net community private key that we're giving everyone. And so if you need access to funds, these funds, are used for demo net only.
That was quick.
We could certainly hook that up. Yep. Yeah. We're trying very hard to make it quicker and quicker. And so, something very important to the Lilypad team. So here's our SD out files. So these are the output files that occur after the job is completed. We have our Hello Lilypad AMA there. 10 out of 10, great. Lily say, our cow says are working, or our hello world is working. So let's try to beef it up a little bit. Let's try to do some SDXL stuff. I've got some.
Yeah, who's got an idea for a prompt? You got to throw it in the chat. We got to generate a text to image here.
Exactly. If anybody wants to give us a prompt. A lily pad floating on an ocean of stars. So yeah, SDX. Yeah, this is SDXL, a pretty lightweight version of Stable Diffusion. Super useful for a range of different tasks. Text to image mainly being this one. Absolutely a killer of a model. I think we're really excited to see some. What is the new? I think we were working on it and we were talking about it a while ago. Alex, what's the new SDXL winner that everybody's talking about? What is that?
Oh yeah, what we were talking about the other day. Yeah, I'm not remembering. But yeah, it's really cool to see. I mean, so our team has built modules for like Llama 2. They've built modules for Ollama, for Stable Diffusion Video. Falcon 7B just recently got built. We're still testing it. We haven't added that to the docs yet. So it's really kind of like an early opportunity here to go find LLMs that will be impactful for the developer community and go build these modules, right? Earn Lily bits, build to earn kind of thing, and and then on top of that, build out LLM workflows with the modules that are already in existence or with the module you created. There you go, and outsource your compute to Lilypad.
So yeah, like some really cool stuff that occurs whenever this happens. So I'll just start from the beginning. We have this is the output from the actual job. It's saying Lilypad job completed. It of course took, I think it took like 60 seconds, maybe less than that. So it says Lilypad job completed, try, and then we have three different commands here that are looking at your temp Lilypad data folder. And within that are your job files. So we've got downloaded files and then the hash there. And so we can just simply open it. Let's just open it again. Boom. Great. And so we've got our output folder. Within it, we have the stdir folder, or stderr. In that, you can use this. I'm trying to. How do I zoom in? View. Nope. Well, I do apologize. I can't.
It's all good. We can kind of see it.
Yeah. So how do I just really wish I could know how to make it larger. Well, whatever. Okay, hopefully everybody can see. My 4K monitor, I'm sure, is not helping. So we can see the output. We can see the logs coming from the Docker container while it runs. And so starting SDXL lightweight, using prompt, It tells you the prompt that was in the input that you gave it. A lily pad floating on an ocean of stars. And if we go back to this, a lily pad floating on an ocean of stars. Great. And so very helpful, especially when you're building a new module and things aren't working quite right. And this will help you understand what is happening within the Docker image as it's trying to run on Lilypad. And of course, we can go check out SDXL real quick. Yeah, here it is. And so here we can look at some of the code that actually does this. This is the Lilypad format file, or the Lilypad module.json.tmpl. Yes, that is a mouthful. Here it has things like the machine spec. And so does it need a GPU? How much RAM does it need? These, I believe that is in, those are in units of megabits. And so, or Alex, actually, do you know what these values are registered? I think this is 1,000 is going to be 100%. And so there is technically like milli or thousands of a denomination of thousands for the allotted RAM on the resource provider. So if my if I have a resource provider and I have it allocated with 32 gigs of RAM, then when I use this value, 1,000, it's just going to say use 100%. And if it said 9,000, that would be 90%. In line with the milli or thousands of a denomination. Does that, Alex? Does this make sense?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It's a little tricky, but it's all good. Yeah.
Yeah. These are things that we are improving as we speak, and we do apologize.
Yeah. We are still in testnet, keyword test, so a lot of this stuff is, a lot of this, it works really well, but a lot of this stuff we're sort of polishing and like going through the user journey of like, okay, what is the way to configure this? How do we make it more clear? How do we, what kind of variables do we need to include that are not included? So the team is deep in, the module experience and how do we make it better?
Yeah. So we've got a question here. So just a noob here. Yeah. Oh, all good, man. Me too. So a job is creating something using the Lilypad CLI, e.g. creating a picture. Exactly. When I run a job on Lilypad, it basically says like, hey, Lilypad, I have this Docker image that I want ran, and I'll pay you to run it. And so you say Lilypad run here, Lilypad run. You give it the network. We're using DemoNet, and then you give it the Docker, the GitHub repository. Boom, that's the GitHub repository right there. GitHub.com/noyev/module SDXL-IPFS, and then that's the commit hash. I can show that real quick. That's pretty useful. Commit hashes are very important when distinguishing what Lilypad job you want to run. And so a way that you can do that is you go to the repository, then you find the commit hash in which you want to run. So this is the most recent version, committed on September 13th, 2024. Dang, that's it's been a while since I've touched this. I'm very happy to see that it's running well. And so within those commits, you can see the commit details right here. And you can just hit this button, copy full SHA for the hash. So you can just click that and then.
Yeah. And great. This is actually a little bit of a good segue into sort of this question about like, how do I run a job like programmatically, for example? Like, so the CLI is the base tool for running jobs on Lilypad. Now, as a developer, like if you're trying to build an app or you're trying to build an agent, like you need to use more than just like the CLI, right? You need some kind of developer tooling. And so that's part of this next stage of IncentiveNet is really us as a team providing the tooling that you need to actually run jobs programmatically from your application. So, oh, Logan, you read my mind. So yeah, so our first implementation of like a dev tool for this is the JS CLI wrapper. It's a local API that you run. And essentially, it's you basically set up a local endpoint that talks to the Lilypad network using the CLI, and your application can then use that endpoint to run jobs. So yeah, Logan, I know this is something you've worked on a little bit. This thing's great. Like this thing can be used for quite a lot. We have like a bunch of developers who want to spin up their own local API, actually more decentralized, right? Than the alternative, which is our team is working on like a hosted API as we speak, and so we'll be releasing an endpoint that the community can just hit with and build applications like much quicker. But yeah, if you want to host your own API endpoint, here you go.
Absolutely. Very useful. I know some people on the team are using this. I haven't dug through it too much because I'm working on other stuff, but if we maybe in the next AMA, if we want to jump through this, I can give it a shot. I'm optimistic that it wouldn't be too much of a situation.
Logan, if you go to examples real quick, we can also show. So there's a really cool Gradio example. Go up to in the code, example folder. Example folder, and then you go great. So right here. So we have a Gradio app that you can basically. So here's an example where you can basically deploy. Oh, you click on the React one. Okay, so basically we have the JS CLI wrapper that you can run locally and host your own API. And then we have an example here that you can use to then deploy a Gradio app on top, a Gradio UI on top, right? And then you can use that Gradio UI to either run jobs directly. You can use the APIs generated by Gradio in Python and JavaScript to then use your basically your application can call those APIs. And then we have this awesome React app on top that you can also use. So it's really like a end-to-end app that you can deploy. And we wanted to make these examples really easy to pick up for people and just get started running Lilypad jobs, via your application real quick. And so, give us feedback, like let us know what you think. Feel free to even open a pull request in this repo or on any of the other public repos. Like we are an open source project. We want the community to tell us what the experience is of using Lilypad, how to improve it. And so anyway, but as I said, this is our local API. We also have a hosted API endpoint that will be coming out pretty soon. And so we're really excited to get that into the hands of the community as well. But anyway, we're just really pumped to start supporting LLM builders that are using LLMs to power their systems. Obviously, some of the biggest use cases that we've already been seeing are agents, right? You create an agent workflow of either one LLM that talks to like a vector database, or you can have a workflow of multiple agents that sort of talk to each other, give each other the outputs of their compute, and then use that output to carry on a process. We have some very, very cool agents that are being built on our network right now that we'll be announcing pretty soon from our team and then from some of our partners. And so most of them are working with the JS CLI API locally. Oh, I see, Logan. I see where you're going here.
Yes.
So foreshadowing. I guess I was foreshadowing, but Logan decided to pull it out. I like it. So why don't you show or talk about what you just pulled up here?
Yeah. So the other weekend, Alex and I were just messing around, and something that I think we both find interesting. Alex and I hang out a lot just on the weekends and stuff, just running a bunch of different ML stuff just because we find it interesting here in Austin, if anyone wants to join us. But in general, something that I'm interested in, Alex, I think you are too, is using these LLMs and then being able to do different things that you wouldn't otherwise be normally able to do, such as training the LLM on data that is specific to something. It's having the LLM look at data specific to something and being able to infer upon it. And so here we have, this was like a few weekends ago, Alex, and so I'm not 100% into the code here and what is going on, but I'll looking back at it, I'm sure it'll come back pretty quickly. But essentially we have Chroma DB that is acting as our vector database. And
Yep.
please, Alex, correct me if you remember something that I'm mistaking here. We have a ChromaDB that's acting as our vector database. We have a document folder in which we have saved we've saved a ton. I mean, we've saved 612 lines of text data information on Lilypad. What Lilypad is? It's, Lilypad is blah blah blah. We got a lot of this from our docs. We got a lot of it from our website. Alex, where'd you get some?
Mainly from the I Need Help support forum. So the intention here was basically to train an L or to have an LLM be able to access all of those conversations that we've been having as a community in our I Need Help support forum. And basically what Logan and I are trying to do here is basically make that LLM be able to answer questions that are commonly asked in I Need Help, using this information as its source of truth here.
Right.
So anyway, Lilypad support agent is in the works.
Right. So yeah, let's just run. Now this is a local model, or this is a local inference model right here. It's not on Lilypad yet. But like I said, it's something that Alex and I are working on getting it on Lilypad. So getting it on local first is a good idea. And I believe this is CPU bound only, so it doesn't need, if I'm not mistaken, it doesn't need a GPU. So that's great. So anyone can get this running. Something that is very specific is this is on Linux. So if you do want to try this out for yourself, this local RAG, then you will need to either have a Linux box or use build commands that are built for MacBook. And so if that's your case, go converse with ChatGPT or Claude for a little while, and they'll get you caught up to speed on doing that. If you want help, reach out to the team. It's something that we've been doing a lot of recently. We'd love to help you out. There's tons of people that can help you out with making sure that your module is built for your specific system. So let's get this running. I've got in some of my instructions, I've got, run Python 3 test _rag dot py. Okay, so it starts up, says ready. You can now ask questions about the document. We've got a lot of information coming out here. Not all of it is too useful, but some of it seems like it is, giving the status of what we're running. This is Llama, Mistral AI, 7B Instruct, cool, generic stuff. So we can ask it a question. One thing I like to do is also looking at my resource monitor, so I can make sure that my computer is doing what it's supposed to be doing. So let's ask it a question. Let's say, Alex, what's a question about Lilypad specifically?
What is a Lilypad module? I think we gave it information about modules. I'm pretty sure. We definitely didn't give it information about everything yet. And on that note, there's a question in the chat here. How it will respond to the TGE question once the agent release. Very cheeky question. I love it. Hilarious. I don't think we gave it information about that, to be honest. So if I had to answer your question, I would say it probably would just say open a ticket and I need help. That's kind of the default response when it doesn't know the answer to the question. I think, by the time we release this thing, we should be able to have the TGE information out, or at least the tokenomics information out. And so we'll probably include that as part of the responses. But if not, if it's still in review, then the agent is going to say, it's still in review with our team.
Right. That's a very cheeky question. I like it. I like it a lot. Love it. This energy is great this morning. All right. Well, we asked it a hard question because it's still thinking. So
yeah, I may not have given it information about modules. I may have screwed us over here, but let's find out.
We can
also just ask it, ask it about like a bacalao error maybe is another good question, but let's just see what it comes back with.
Let's see. She's going. Okay. All right. We're getting some. A Lilypad module is a custom software component that can be added to the Lilypad network. This module can perform specific computational tasks such as AI inference or machine learning training, and can leverage the distributed computing power of the Lilypad network. Come on now.
That's not bad. That's not bad. I mean, I would probably want to remove the ML trading part because we're not quite supporting trading yet, but otherwise that's pretty dope. Also, I would want it to maybe explain sort of like it's a Docker image and there's a specific configuration and like some additional things. But yeah, this is beautiful, right? So our intention here is to like make this thing really good and then connect it to our Discord and just kind of have it help automate our support in the Discord there. But yeah. I mean, if anyone else in the community has another question, we can throw it definitely. Logan, maybe ask it, or maybe just ask a simple question like, what is the Lilypad network?
Thinking. Llama generate 817 prefix match hit. What is Lilypad? Okay.
So if I remember correctly, Logan, this is using Mistral 7B. Is that right? Or I'm actually going to look. Yeah, it looks like it, at least in the repo.
It's using Lang chain as well.
Yeah. So of course, like probably everyone's wondering like how do we get this running on Lilypad, right? And so basically the next step here is to ensure that the model that we want to use here, it might be Mistral, or it is Mistral 7B in this case. We might change that to like a Llama 3 or something like that. We basically have our program running that JS CLI API locally, and then we basically send Lilypad compute jobs, inference jobs to the network. And then we have our vector database there, inputting the information just like it is locally to provide that context to the LLM. And so we're talking internally about how we want to host this, and we probably need to like spend a little more time on the code to make it like flow as we want it. But this is so exciting.
Yeah. The answer came out. Lilypad is a distributed computational services platform underpinned by the Backlayout project. It provides infrastructure for use cases like AI inference, DeSci, and more. Lilypad strategically collaborates with decentralized infrastructure networks such as Filecoin to formulate transparent, efficient, and accessible computational ecosystem. Like it.
Great success.
Yes. There's a little more work to be done on this one.
I mean, we haven't. So like we took a fraction of the I Need Help support forum. We took information from the troubleshooting part of the docs. We took information from the home page of the docs. So we definitely would need to add more context to this to make it like fully production ready. But
very simple, very easy to use. Go check out the repository that I made. Get it on Lilypad. There's no reason. We'll send you a load of Lily bits. But I enjoy this stuff a lot. So, I assume everybody else does. It's just some of the coolest thing you could some of the coolest stuff you could do on a computer. So,
yeah, absolutely. Well, and the beauty of Lilypad is, it's a kind of a people powered network where this type of application can like run thousands of parallel jobs if needed, and sort of like scale up real quick to Lilypad and then scale back down to zero, when the LLM's not being used. So, it's very useful for a lot of different agent applications. There are some agents that need like long running state that, the way that Lilypad works just out of the box isn't necessarily quite like tuned for. We're still like getting like our examples built for like supporting something like an ELIZA agent. That requires a little bit more context management, a little more added layers to, this kind of like simple example here. But we're going to start where we are here, which is like this with like a RAG type pipeline. We've also got some other agents that are doing similar types of things, and then scaling up our examples, scaling up our tooling so that developers can build stuff like ELIZA agents really quickly. You pulled up Falcon 7B. Oh, hell yeah. Our latest module from one of our incredible core engineers, Nard, worked on it. I have to say, Logan did like an internal module building session last week for the whole team, and everyone was required to build a module and get it running on Lilypad. And I have to say, first of all, that was so much fun. Thank you, Logan, for doing that. But also, then we ended up with some of these incredible modules that the community can build apps on, right? Like that's the whole point. Is like we want the modules to be used. And so, Falcon 7B is obviously a very useful module or model, excuse me. So it looks like he's got a README here. Oh, nice. Okay, so he's got the command. I actually haven't gone through this yet. Oh, you're gonna tempt the demo gods. I like it.
Go big or go home.
Okay, let's do it.
Go big or go home. All right. Write me a haiku about lily pads. Write me a haiku about the Lilypad AMA. All right. So
here we go.
Now we got to come up with something else to talk about.
Well, actually, you made me think of it when you said AMA. So just to give everyone kind of like a bearing of where we're going here. So with our next phase or next stage of IncentiveNet, like as I mentioned, we're going to be supporting builders quite a bit. So there's rewards for builders who are building modules. There's rewards for people building applications on top of those modules. We're going to transition these AMAs into a builder-focused, session, right? And so we're going to get people building agents on the AMAs to show off their code like we did today. We're going to be, the community can get highlighted and you can show off what you've built. We're also going to be talking about, how to do these things, how to use the JS CLI wrapper. Once our hosted endpoint comes out, what's that look like? Like really focusing on getting modules built, helping people build them, getting them to expo them to the community. And then the next phase of that will be agent and application builders. So people who are building on top of these modules, then now it's your time to shine. We're going to provide rewards, and we're also going to, have live streams every week on, demonstrating the work that's being done here. Yep, so it's a huge opportunity.
Yeah, we've got GPUs dedicated to testing. And so if you're a developer and you want access to running jobs, we have GPUs for you to do that. So please take use of them. We would love for you to warm our GPUs up for us. Make sure that things are working the way it should be.
Yep. And that'll go in conjunction, like in parallel with the beta program for RPs. So again, now you can probably imagine now that we said all this, like we need the RP network to be 100% stable or 99.999% stable. And so that, all these module creators and all these application builders can run jobs consistently. And so that's why we're doing the beta to make sure that we have that consistency. And then we'll be scaling that up to have more and more GPUs. Because of course, the whole intention here is to have, many, many, many GPUs available. And so we need to make sure that they can run jobs consistently. And we have, Logan, for example, has been working on some updates to the RPs that will basically help us confirm that before a node joins the network, it can indeed run a job. And so anyway, more on that's coming. But anyway, so yeah, we're really excited to just like focus. Like our live streams are so much fun. Like we love talking about the network. We love talking about the news in the space. But we got to build shit. It's time to build shit. We got to get everyone who's building stuff onto these live streams, showing off what they're building. And we're going to collaborate with a bunch of groups to across the network or across the sort of the Web3 world to make it fun. So yeah, submit modules to us, submit questions to us. And just keep building, and we're here to support. So it looks like our deal is agreed. The job is running, so that's a good sign.
Yeah, I'm looking to see what maybe my RP is doing. Yeah, with the newer modules before they're proofed out and stuff, there's a lot that goes into it. We certainly want to make this process a lot easier for everyone. So, just try it out, please. Tell us what you think. Tell us your problems. Tell us what you're like. Of course, the heavier models, the larger models are going to be harder to become stable, and so keep that in mind.
This module. Oh, sorry.
one of the reasons why I use lightweight modules for a lot of my work is because it's just simpler and it's simpler. And so, if you're starting out, definitely I would recommend do that as well. If you're a pro, bring it on. We can also handle the heavy stuff too.
Yep. Yeah, this Falcon 7B is sort of still in testing, so I'm hoping that she gives us an output here. But that's kind of the thing, is like, when you build the module, you get it working, and then sort of like massage out some of the questions and some of the issues. We're honestly like working with the community to understand like what is the scope of some of these edge cases of issues that come up, right? It's just like with the resource provider sort of like community growth over the last 6 months. Like, we're here to support now both resource providers and module creators. And so, yeah, don't feel shy to jump into our Discord we actually have I'll put a link here. We have a modules channel in Discord specifically dedicated to this. Let's see, let me grab it. I realize that's probably not super helpful that's a very long URL. But that's the best I got right now. I can also put it in the chat if anyone needs it. Let me know.
Okay. Well, let's cancel out of this job. Should we try it again? Just
yeah, run it one more time. Let's see.
Yeah.
Let's see. Sometimes you got to give it a little kick. Maybe clear your TMP folder.
Okay.
Here we go.
Just decentralizing inference.
Just running inference on a decentralized, compute network. No big deal.
Right.
Okay, who here bought a 5080 or a 5090? Do we have anyone in the community? Logan's trying to convince me to buy one, but I just got a 4060 Ti. I haven't even got it yet. It still hasn't even shipped, I think. So I'm still waiting for that like an idiot. But who's got a 50 series? I want to know what it's like. Otherwise Logan's gonna make me get one, or he's gonna get one, and then we're gonna have to tell you.
Yeah, everybody was talking about, so okay. I just saw something happen. Everybody was talking about how the prices for the 4080 don't come out until, there it goes, we got it. The prices for the 4080 don't come out until the day that the embargo for media is there's an embargo for media people, and for people who are given the pre-release versions of the card, they're not allowed to say anything. There's, what is it called when a non-disclosure agreement? There's an NDA set, and apparently the NDA's date ends the day before the launch, and so everybody's like, well, like, they're not going to tell us the prices, and like and people aren't going to, like, nobody knows the price until it launches. And so like you buy one and you don't know it's just funny because like if people knew the price and we knew the performance, we would know like, okay, should I buy it or should I not? But they're not telling us the price, so like we can't determine if we should buy it or not. It's either you buy it or you don't. So I just think it's super funny.
Well, way she goes.
Okay.
All right, moment of truth. Let's read this haiku.
Read it.
The other question about running these models is, how good is the output? That's something that, Logan's gotten pretty good at, like sort of taking a model and sort of massaging it to have better outputs.
All righty. So write me a haiku about the Lilypad AMA. Write me a haiku about the Lily AMA. Lilypad AMA, floating on the water, majestic in bloom. Come on, that's just great. That's beautiful.
I mean, that's butter. That's beautiful.
That's
There you
awesome.
go. And
Well
that's
done,
running.
Narb. Good
Well
job,
done.
Narb.
Shout out to Narb. We got, and that
Yeah.
ran on Lilypad too. So, now use your imagination and build with this module. Use that local API. Oh yeah, you got to give Narb a shout out.
Yeah. Narb is a legend, absolute legend.
Yeah.
Well,
Great.
I would say that's a successful AMA right there.
Yeah, absolutely. So anyway, yeah, thanks everyone for coming to hang with us. Again, these things are going to be very builder focused. And so, build some cool stuff, tell us about it. We'll give, there's an ability to earn rewards, but also we'll come and expo you on this live stream and get you exposure for your system or get you exposure for your agent workflow, whatever it is. Yeah. Anyway, though, thanks so much everyone for joining us. Logan, thanks for joining us as always. That's a cool shirt, by the way. Is that one of those acceleration shirts?
Level SIO. Exactly.
I thought so.
Yeah.
Very, very cool. Okay. Well, that's yes. That's a great note to leave on. Acceleration. We keep accelerating. 2025.
Pierce the veil. Pierce the veil.
Exactly. All right. Thanks, everybody.
Ciao, ciao. Thanks, everyone.